I think every job has its pitfalls. Like every job has difficulties that you've got to be aware of and be careful about. And pastoral ministry is no different. One of my biggest weaknesses, I think, is that I tend to just take people at their words. So if they tell me something, I believe the best. I'm a bit of an optimist, and I'm not probably not skeptical enough about when I meet people and hear what they say. I probably should be a little slower at accepting what people tell me. One of the most popular types of preaching that's going on today in churches that's helping them grow really fast is kind of sermons like, this is your best life now, you can do it. It's kind of like self help type preaching, building people up and how important they are. And it's almost as if they teach that God exists to help you, and not the other way around. It's that God made us for his purposes and for his glory. So I want to help us to have a better vision of that. Listen to what James says in James chapter 4. He says, "Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we'll go into such and such a town and spend a year there and trade and make a profit. Yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes." James is just the opposite of a self help preacher. I mean, he's saying, yes, I think James would acknowledge we are made in the image of God, so we matter. We're important. It's important to have vision. It's important to have goals. There's no glory in being a person that just kind of sits on the couch and never has any plans, never has any vision, never has any goals. And yet you can take that too far in a cockiness and an arrogance. And so what James would say is, sure, we're made in the image of God, but we should be seeking to do God's will, and we should have a view of ourselves that we're not just thinking, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and without seeking God and without praying about it. And so James is critiquing and confronting the person that would have all this ambition and plans about what they're going to do without seeking God. And he's saying, well, what is your life? You're like a mist like the morning fog that burns off by 9 o'clock. Realize your fragility and the temporary nature of you and of your plans. And so, what I think is a proper view for you and I is to realize, yes, I am valuable. I'm a human being. My goals and plans matter. God has made me in his image, and this is a wonderful thing. I have rational thought, and I have the ability to do amazing and great things. And yet, at the same time, I should humble myself before God and realize that I was created to do God's will, not just my own will. Listen to Philippians, a very familiar passage that I think sometimes people preach poorly. Paul says, I know how to be brought low, and I know how to abound. In any and every circumstance, I have learned the secret of facing plenty and hunger, abundance and need. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. Sometimes you hear this quoted as like somebody's going to take a test. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can take this test and do really well. Or maybe they're going to play football. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I don't think those are terrible things to say. And yet, what Paul is saying, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And what this means is I can be in hunger and in need, and Christ is going to strengthen me to be able to handle that, to be able to do that as well. So this passage doesn't always mean, hey, I'm going to do everything really well because Christ is in me to strengthen me. Well, it means that even if I face adversity and need, I can handle even that because he strengthens me. Hey, be blessed today. Have a balanced view of your greatness and of your glory because God has made you, and yet hold that with humility that realizes that all things exist for God's honor and for God's glory. I'm not the main character in the story. I'm in a supportive role. God is the main character in the story. I exist for him and for his sake. Blessings to you.